Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our weekly Shuup Webcast. My name is Daria, and today we're joined by Kamil Damji, an enterprise account executive at Shuup. Kamil, thank you so much
Hi,
for joining us.
thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, well, it's not your first time, and it's not your last time. um, so today we'll be
Fantastic.
discussing how to make your marketplace attractive for vendors and customers, because in the end, this is the end goal of your marketplace. You want to attract people there, people who sell stuff or provide services, and people who buy um, these items and services of your marketplace. So, Camille, you work really closely with all the customers and you guide and navigate them through the, planning and purchase process. And
Yes.
you understand like nobody that there are clear factors that determine success of a marketplace, and you try to optimize your customers' ideas into into successful one big marketplace. Could you comment on that a little bit, and could you actually share some factors that
Sure.
make marketplace successful?
Yeah, great. So yeah, it's definitely one of the most important phases is really the planning phase. It's really the most important. Optimizing your marketplace really determines the overall success moving forward. It really paves the way for your idea.
Mhm.
And ultimately, by having this foundation laid out, it really boils down to the vendors and the end customers' satisfaction. It's really meeting all of their expectations have to be met for them to have a good experience and continue to grow with your site and use the site on a daily basis. And that really, leads to increased vendor registration and user conversions. So you're making money.
That makes sense. I mean, this is basically what we want from a marketplace. So this was really useful, and I can only imagine that when customers come to you and they say, "Oh, we have this great idea," and they might, pile everything onto you because people tend to make things complicated when they're so inspired, and you kind of take a role of a therapist a little bit there, and you kind of try to make sense out of this mess. And I understand that people might still make mistakes. So what are the most common mistakes customers make when
Uh,
planning a marketplace?
yeah, I mean, you said it. People come to us with elaborate ideas. They have complicated workflows, and sometimes that can really cloud the process. It's great. Everyone, has their vision of where they want to go, but it's really up to us at the early stage to kind of bring them back down to ground, and really focus on the foundations and the fundamentals of what they're looking to do. It's really important to start with a simple basic foundation and build up the project really in stages. I always advise clients that it's better to walk than to run, and it's easier to fix things on the micro level than on a macro level when things get overly complicated.
Yeah.
Clients want to spend more time on the look and feel, rather than really thinking about the customer or the vendor experience, because really those are the people that are utilizing your service on a daily basis. So you want to make that easy for them to either onboard or to purchase goods, or whatever they're really doing on your marketplace. It's obviously important to have a nice site that looks good, but you don't want to take away people or distract people from the goal of conversions.
Yeah, it's very understandable because, sometimes, yeah, people kind of confuse design and functionality a little bit. I probably would. I'd have an image of how I want my website or marketplace look like, and, all those flashy things and those pop-ups and all. And this is maybe not really what the end customer needs.
Correct.
This is just, something to decorate it with, and that should come in last, and functionality should come in first. But when
Yeah, I agree. And another good thing just to add to that is I always tell clients that it's good to look at reference, right? Look at someone
right,
who's already successful, and what makes them successful from a design point of view, from a from a functionality point of view. So they kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah, it's a very valid point that,
Yeah.
gather some references, see how other people do that, and come up with your own plan. This is a great suggestion and advice. But when vendors and customers come to the web page, the first thing they see is a storefront. So of course we want to make it, pretty and nice. But what actually makes a good storefront? Could you elaborate a little bit about what you suggest your customers to plan in the storefront to make it successful?
Sure. Yeah, that's great. I mean, really, a good storefront would include a simple way for them to navigate. Either it's going to be horizontally or vertically. It should clearly show the category headings or product subcategories or services, whichever one it is. It's nice to have some nice simple images that are not overly distracting, that kind of complement the site or the message. And it should really, really have some sort of a call to action, right?
Yeah.
So there's a purpose there. There's a flow to it. It's not just, products or advertisement. Like, it has to have some kind of tied in flow to it.
Yeah, I understand. And you mentioned all those, heavy designs and graphics.
Yep.
Actually brings us to a very valid point that all these,
Mhm.
interactive things that decorate the page, they might increase page load time, which we don't want
Correct.
to have. And of course, here at Shuup, we try to minimize our pages load times because we want our customers to have nice experience and not just like sit there waiting for the page to load. I want to see what kind of t-shirt I'm buying. So we recommend to make it nice, easy, and clean. Do you
Oh,
understand
for
that
sure.
correctly?
For sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
great.
for sure.
Do you want to, because we're talking about a good storefront, do you want to jump to an example and just walk us through one
Sure.
of our
Yeah,
customer
that'd be great.
sites?
Yeah, that'd be perfect. Why don't we do that?
And that's the one.
Okay.
Mobile home
So
load.
yeah, so this is a great site. It's very clear to see the purpose. You can see on the top right corner, there's clearly a button for registration for the user, for the mover in this case, how it works. So, about the site, a login. Login's important. You don't, people want, obviously you want to capture people's logging in and who's interacting with the site, but you don't want to overly complicate it. A simple username and password, depending on what it is you're doing. You don't need to have it overly intimidating. Also, to go with that is an easy checkout experience, right?
Yeah.
So is logging in optional? Is it mandatory? When does it happen? Does it happen during the checkout experience? So that flow, really thinking out, the life of a user is really important. If you scroll down a bit, we have a nice site. It flows really well. It's really moving you to engage with the site. There's help articles, which is always important. There's some other information about the vendors in this case, so you can quickly see different vendors. And then there's also some testimonials. This is obviously building your site credibility. It's nice to have that. This is a big thing, reviews. And then it's, again, a call to action. So you're basically coming full circle and having them on board, either as a customer or as a vendor in this case.
Yeah.
And I think this is a really nice and easy site. It's not overly complicated, but it hits all the points that we were discussing.
Yeah, and on a login point, I know that with Shuup we offer also logging in with, for example, Facebook or Gmail, which is really easy because you don't really need to register. You can just use one of those services where you already have an account to log in to the website and just proceed as a customer, and it will really make your life much easier. I use it all the time myself.
Perfect.
So,
Yeah, that's great.
yeah, but we've talked a little bit about customers and their checkout process, and it should be easy, but also a marketplace must attract vendors in the first place then to attract customers, because we have to have people who actually sell something or provide services. So how would you recommend they make their marketplaces vendor friendly?
Yeah, so there's really two aspects. There's obviously the front end and what vendors do. Like they obviously have their registration page. In some cases, it could be on the front end, or it could be something done manually. But essentially for the vendor, you're having their vendor page or the vendor storefront. This is great because vendors can add to the style of their own brand. They have their images, they have their store description, maybe they have a profile picture, and then obviously detailed information about the products or services that they offer. So that's really on the front end. As far as the back end, the UI of Shuup is amazing. It's really clear and easy for vendors to create campaigns. You know, if it's Black Friday or some holiday event, it's really easy to make those from a UI perspective, and discounts. It's really easy for them to manage their inventory and get access to reports and notifications, which is obviously essential to the success of any business. Is there an example maybe you have, Daria, that we can quickly show of a vendor registration, maybe a front end?
Yeah, absolutely. We can jump back to Mobile Home Movers website.
Perfect.
And for
Perfect.
example, see the vendor registration.
All right.
So,
Yeah, so this is great. This is for a vendor registration. Again, you know, it's different for every business, but for a simple vendor registration, you want to have the name of the vendor. Maybe there's some sort of, you know, license or number that they have to fill out. And essentially they're just putting in this information, and this is really prepping them to build their storefront, because essentially this information that they're inputting is going to be the basis of their profile vendor page. And then it's something that we can use then to grow from there.
yeah,
But this is very simple. Yeah.
So basically they fill out all the necessary information, and they can, you know, as well start selling and providing services off of that already. So they don't need to, you know, go into different settings and set everything up, because probably it's all already there after their registration, and, you know, just
Exactly.
too
Yeah.
complicated, because they have those moving trucks, as far as I understand. So they have a business name and, like, you know, license number and number of how many cars do you have actually, and what kind of trailers, and
Of
all
course.
of that.
Now, there can be a lot of other logic built up off this, depending on what the business is. Like, for example, if, you know, there's some sort of certification that was needed, then, you know, we can have all this other layers of logic added to this. But really, you want to make it very easy and clear cut for the vendor. And that way you can attract more vendors.
Yeah, just for fun of it, let's go see the customer registration. What can
Sure.
be done there? So yeah, actually they decided not to do the Gmail account or Facebook registration, which is understandable, because probably for this kind of service you want a little bit more information on your customers. But
Correct.
it's also very easy: username, email, first name, last name, and, like, and you're done. You can, you know, start buying or loading trucks, and, you know, doing whatever you need to do. So this is very good. I feel like this definitely is a success. So we've talked about a little bit of back end. Mostly we concentrated on the front end of the web page, because this is what most people see when they choose a marketplace to buy things or services off, or to sell things or services as vendors. And let's just quickly take our viewers and listeners through our takeaways from this session, and repeat what we said, what actually makes the marketplace attractive for vendors and customers. So we concentrate on both. They somewhat have similar experiences. They just want things to be easy and simple, and they want to have a nice flow. They don't have to guess where things are, how they do this or that. They don't want this, you know, extra complicated things. They want everything nice and easy. And you said in the beginning that when customers come to you, and they're just they're shining with all those ideas in beautiful marketplaces. And what you try to do in the first place is you try to bring them back to earth, and say that break it into smaller steps. Let's build one thing. You can always come
I
back.
agree.
Like, you can test it, come back, build on top of it. This is not a problem. So start small. Start with basic functionality, just like break it down into very small steps, and then build on it. Another important issue we recommend everybody is to separate functionality and design. And you specifically need to talk to your account manager or your developers about it, because of course they take all the design also into account, but in the first place they will concentrate on functionality, that everything works, that you can actually register vendors, have customers, and start selling on your marketplace. This is the most important thing. So discuss those separately if possible, and if you can supply examples, if you can do research in the first place and come prepared, this is just grand. This is amazing. This is what really makes I understand Camille's life much easier. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you, but you know, our Shuup team is so amazing. We really are, I mean, I like to think of myself as a client advocate. I really want to help them reach their vision. It's just getting there the right way and planning and making sure that we are hitting all those points that we discussed today. And it's important to, you know, to make the client happy, because that's, at the end of the day, that's their baby, it's their project.
Yeah.
And really that's what we're building. We're building their ideas into reality.
Yeah, that's beautiful. We make some ideas into something real and feasible, which is a beautiful thing to do. So, and one last thing is that the website must be easy. I probably said the word easy today so many times, but just simplicity is the basis of everything. Just make everything
Got it.
simple. Don't try to overcomplicate it. Make it easy navigation, make easy call to action, easy login, and easy checkout, and everybody will be happy. They don't want to, look for things in your online store. It's not like you're in a grocery store and they changed the location of your favorite yogurt again, and you have to, go and look for it. No, this is online. This is e-commerce. People will just go to another website that is easier
Correct.
to
I agree.
navigate on. Um, do you want to talk about any other factors that kind of come after launch of the marketplace that people might take into account, or they probably
Yeah,
must
of
take them
course.
into account
For
after launch?
sure, for sure. I think, yeah, everything you said was on point. And really, once all of these factors are up and running, you know, and we built an MVP or your proof of concept, then we can focus on other things such as branding, SEO, you know, engagement, conversion rates,
Right.
you know, heat maps, where are people clicking and stuff like that. So those are all things that Shuup can help you with, and we can advise you on. And it's really then scaling and really building the business into something.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'd really like to, have you in our webcast maybe a few more times, because it would be so much fun to talk to you actually about the backend more, and, explore
Sure.
some of the functionality that is important for vendors or for shop admins, and sorry, store admins, or marketplace admins, people who actually, administrate it.
Of
Um,
course.
and this will be a very fun topic to explore during our next session. But at this point, we've concentrated mostly on user interface and on the design and flow navigation. So all the
Mhm.
things that you actually see, all the things that you as a customer or vendor care about in the first place. So, does anybody have any questions? Because we love questions. They help us to navigate also our discussion in the right direction, and they help us understand our viewers a little bit more, and your needs and what you actually want to learn. And if there is an interesting question that we cannot answer right now, we'll definitely get back to you with some of our experts, or maybe we'll have a separate webcast series on that, which will be a lot of fun. So, Camille, are you ready to take any questions if we have them?
Sure. Shoot away.
Right. Well, I don't have anybody right now, but we're
Okay.
still waiting because people um, might be writing those questions at some point.
Sure.
Yeah, I just wanted to note it
Okay.
again that if you're watching this as a recording on YouTube, and you'd like to ask us something, you can always write it in the comment section under the video or email us at contact@shuup.com. We are happy to answer any of your questions. We're happy to have a call with you, or one of our experts, of course, to have a call with you, for example, Kamil. And he'll be just, happy to guide you through Shuup and demonstrate all the functionality and help you gather your ideas and make them into something beautiful.
Yep.
Do you
sounds
see any
great.
questions? I don't see any questions.
No, but if it, like Daria said, if there's any questions or there's just information that you want to learn more about a specific topic, don't hesitate to let us know, and we're more than happy to get to you.
And we actually have a question.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, Lucas says, thanks for a great presentation. Thank you so much, Lucas. This is so nice to hear. Feedback is always welcome, especially, positive feedback. Yeah, I think we can, wrap it up right here. I feel that the topic has been covered in full. And as I said, in one of our next sessions, we'll discuss more about the backend issues and what is, the necessary functionality. And yeah, it will be fun. Join us every week on Thursdays, same time.
Excellent. Thank you, Daria.
Thank you so much, Kamil, and I hope to hear you again.